development is must for a country which is considered as a developing country. India has got 120 crores of people living at various levels. Majority are below poverty level. Development should be, according to me, for promoting better standard of life to the downtrodden. That is very important. For that purpose, it is the responsibility of the government. Government cannot give the revenue to each and every person you take it from it. No. Government should provide facility for that. Facility means I should be provided facility to earn. If I am not in a position to work, how I will earn? So that facility government has to provide. In the major ports of the country, you can very well see that several lakhs of workers are involved in the port-related activities. And that is their livelihood. Railway workers are there. Other workers who are engaged in the stevedoring, clearing, forwarding, transporting, various port-related activities, there are informal workers also. They are also in and around several lakhs living with the port. There are 1,30,000 pensioners also who are depending on the service of the major ports. It is a big ocean. And the major ports are so far provided all their contributions for the economic or financial growth of India through Exim trade. Now the government says we want to corporatize. What is the justification for corporatization? What is the need for the corporatization? They are telling only 2-3 things. One, it is for improving efficiency. How efficiency can be improved? If it is managed efficiently. Efficiency can be improved if it is managed efficiently. Whether it is private sector or government sector, who manages is not the problem. How it is managed is the problem. So, the port product, then they are talking about productivity. Productivity can be improved provided you are permitting us to produce more. By installing advanced technology, advanced infrastructure facilities, we can improve it. Trained workers, efficiently skilled workers are there in the ports. We cannot say that they are very highly skilled workers are in the major port. You have to utilize them. You have to provide the facility to provide. And all the IAS officers are managing the port majority. For the improvement of efficiency and productivity, what is their contribution? Why the private terminals are running profitably? Because it is managed by professionals. Likewise, ports should manage professional people. That facility should be there. Advanced infrastructure facility should be there. The workers should be permitted to work properly. The Porters Board should be permitted to manage the ports in accordance with the provisions of the MPT Act 1963 and Indian Ports Act 1908. These are all things. And government should not intervene through the day-to-day activities of the ports. They should be permitted to manage it. Government is now unnecessarily bureaucratizing the activities of the port. That is affecting the efficiency of the port. Bureaucratization is the main problem we are facing with each and everything. To appoint a person, a mastoor, a lesker, a driver, an operator, we have to go to the government for a permission. What does it mean? But on the private company, it is not that. They can take decision, they can execute it. Another important factor is that they said that it will give more to the workers. What will be the fate of the workers in that? I am concerned, basically, I am concerned on workers. Indian ports has got 50,000 workers and 1,30,000 1,30,000 pensioners. What would be their future? Who will take the liability of them? Whether private, no doubt corporatization will pave way for privatization, no doubt, sir. It is the first step of privatization. Once the ports are privatized, can the government guarantee that it will run viably and profitably? If it is so, they should answer how the big private giants are facing retrenchment, facing closure. Example, civil aviation sector. Civil aviation sector. By Malaysia, by Jet Airways, by SpiceJet, by Sahara, hundreds of examples we can quote it. Whereas the public sector is running profitably and managed viably by competent people. Like that you adopt competency in the ports. For that purpose it is not required that it should be corporatized. And who will, I asked you about the liability. Where I will go? 50,000 workers are there. Pensioners are there. Supreme Court said that pension is a deferred wage. Deferred wage. If it is so, I watered the port and my share of wages has been kept under the custody of this major port trust as a deferred wage. If once it is privatized, once it is corporatized, 50,000 workers are there. What about the security of their job? The benefit they are enjoying now. They contributed for the development of the country for the last several decades. And now the Porters Board is represented by various interests involved in the port-related activity. We are together managing the port. It is a combination, it is a joint venture. The present functioning of the ports, major ports are the joint venture. That is a very important concern. Private is there, government is there, labor is there. All the three main stakeholders are involved in the operation of the major ports today. Then why they are now thinking that it should be demolished and it should be removed and it should be handed over to some single company, single party, where they cannot ensure the representation of all these interests? The major intention behind is, according to me, to snatch away the land under the custody of the Indian major ports. About a lakh of land is under the custody of the major ports. That land is government property. It cannot be sold out. Once it is a private this can be the handover to somebody else, individuals. Now we can give it only even for any commercial activity, non-port related activity, we can give it. The land which do not require for the development of the port infrastructure, port related activity, there is provision in the land policy of the government relating to major port to have, you can lease out for other purposes. But we cannot sell it out. We can only lease out land. We can only lease, but we cannot sell it out. But the intention behind this corporatization process is only to sell it out. Vajpayee, when he was the Prime Minister of India, when we represented the issue, he understood that. He called us, discussed with us, and it was referred for the Parliamentary Committee. Parliamentary Committee got a recommendation. Corporatization is not a requirement, but infrastructure development should be there. World Bank, the godfather of the present and after 1990s, the godfather of our livelihood is World Bank. The same World Bank said it is not necessary to create a greenfield port, but you develop the infrastructure and the facilities of the existing ports. Even then, where is the cargo? We are having 8 to 9 terminals. We could not reach up to the level of Singapore or Colombo or Dubai in handling containers. They are doing several crores, whereas we could not even reach 1 crore containers in the country. Even then you are creating more capacity, overcapacity creation under the pretext of infrastructure development. Infrastructure development should be there according to the requirement, without taking into consideration the actual requirement. If you are creating infrastructure facilities again and again, by creating new ports, that too in the private sector, that will definitely create an overcapacity creation. Finally, entire thing will be demolished. No private entrepreneur is investing money, bringing money from his own country. Multinational companies are not bringing. They are utilizing the money which we invested in the banks. On the other hand, they will take money which I am investing and they will put in their business. They are putting my money in their business. And their resources are there, the swing is developing. And the multinationals who are doing business in India, invest in India, do you think that they will bring from their country? They will come, they will utilize our facility, and they will take money from the banks in India as loan, whatever may be, and they will do business. The money is also our money. The poor investors' money. Poor investors' money. Not their own money. And if it is running profit, they will take the profit to his country. If it is running loss, he will drop it here, he will go away, run away. That is the experience you are having. So all these things are with a prejudice notion and without having any real assessment, I can say. Another important factor is any reforms in the country, we do welcome it. Without having changes, we cannot sustain, we cannot survive, because world is changing. Accordingly, we should also change. We can make changes, we can advocate reforms, but it should have a human face. It should have a human face. That is why I said development should be beneficial everybody, not a separate class. Not a separate class. Here they are talking about the development for a separate class who want to keep the downtrodden as laborers. This type of inhuman approach under the pretext of development and infrastructure facilities will pave way for against slavery, and that will create suspicion amongst the downtrodden on democracy. That will cut the root of democracy if such things are going. That will cut the root. Because if I am losing belief in democracy, that will create a disaster situation in our country. That we do not want. We are projecting our issues for survival, not minting crores, only for livelihood. Permit us to live. If you want to make any changes, make the changes taking into consideration the emotions, sentiments, feelings, needs, grievances of the parties affected in it. That is very important.